When I come to Burundi, I will make sure I take igiseke, umukuza,
and travel with them.
Travel with them back. I got to visit Soweto. Soweto is
a historic place.
Very historic. They will tell you the Table Mountains in the Drakensberg. I thought you were a Xhosa girl or a Tswana girl until you spoke. Yes, Sambonani. And then you will answer Sawubona.
Sawubona.
And then he will ask Kunjani, how are you? You will answer Niyaphila. I saw myself going through Kigoma, Tanzania, and then Pulungu.
Day and night trip from country to country, crossing borders. A teenage Burundian girl finds herself in a foreign land, a country she never knew before, navigating through new ways of life, language, culture, school, townships, and neighborhoods.
So I hold dear the photos we took together. All those are memorable moments that I will never forget.
This very episode features Dalila Nimhagaritse, a 39-year Burundian woman, a remarkable individual with many hearts, a community uplifter, life coach, social welfare activist, passionate advocate for women's empowerment, and much more. After spending many years in South Africa, Dalila made the decision in 2018 to return to her homeland of Burundi, driven by a desire to contribute to her country's economic growth and societal transformation. Whether working with international humanitarian organizations or in her own right, Dalila is dedicated to making a difference in every way possible. Above all, Dalila Nimhagaritse is a devoted wife, a mother of 5, and a deeply patriotic daughter of Burundi.
One day I was introduced to you by a friend of mine. He was telling me about you, and I was eager to flip through on the internet, especially on X, and just wanted to know who is Dalila Nimhagaritse. I was reading and I was very happy to see you on X, what you write, what you talk about, and I thought in short that you are a person of a community, and I said, I think I need to invite that person so that she can come and be with me on set to talk about herself, what she's doing. I didn't even know whether there are such ladies here in the country who are doing so amazing things here in Burundi. So Dalila Nimhagaritse is just a name. Can we know more about Dalila and all the stories forward and behind Dalila Nimhagaritse, so that not only me, even other people who are watching this can know more about you?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm so excited and happy to be here in your studio today. Yes, when you called me, I was like, this person is inviting me, and I can't miss such an opportunity to expose myself and who I am. Dalila Nimhagaritse, I can say I'm a daughter, first of all. I was born of 2 parents, and then I'm a sister. I've got siblings. I'm a wife and a mother of 5 children. So I'm 39 years old, a Burundian national who has traveled in Africa, in other countries, and then I find myself in South Africa when I was only 16. So from then I lived abroad in South Africa, not here in my country. So personality-wise, Dalila. You know you cannot talk about yourself exactly, because people who see you from the outside can be the one to describe you better. But Dalila, as you said, is a person who's very, very sociable.
Who lives in the community.
Yes, social welfare activist. I love to lend a voice to those lowly and meek, the voiceless, so that through me, women can have a platform to
express themselves.
Yes, yes, children as well.
So it's a very interesting story about yourself. So I would like to know, because you said about SA, South Africa. Let's go back to South Africa and to the land of Mandela.
Yes.
You're gonna just tell us what was the town you're living in?
I lived in Pretoria precisely. Yes. South Africa has got many
Towns.
cities and towns. So the capital, I can say the political capital city is Pretoria, but the local people call it the city of Tshwane. That's where I lived.
When you were
half of, you see, I'm 39 today, but half of my my lifetime I've spent it in South Africa. So it has become a second home to me. From Burundi, where I was born, to South Africa, where I grew up. So I have two homes.
How was life in South Africa? Expression, ways of life. How did you get used to living in South Africa in terms of communicating to people, languages? Because I think you went to South Africa at 10 years old, right? That's what you said.
16,
right?
Yeah.
So
I was a teenager.
You were a teenager. How did you get used to communicating to South Africans? The languages. I think there are so many languages in South Africa. How was life there?
Something pushing me away was the situation at that time. 2000 was a year which there was more strife, civil war in Burundi. And then I said, if I could just cross borders outside and don't have to fear that I'm gonna get caught in the middle of all this civil war and fighting. So 2001 exactly, that's when we took the trip with other people, and then I saw myself going through Kigoma, Tanzania, and then Pulungu, that's in Zambia.
Place that
Lusaka.
You didn't know that before.
I never knew.
For the very first time.
Never knew I'll even ever have an opportunity to be outside my country. I was a French-speaking young teenage, so
you were born and grew up in a French-speaking country.
Yes, here. Yes.
How did you get used to communicating to
in English? As soon as I arrived, I can't say I communicated much. So I was admitted to Holy Trinity Catholic High School, in South Africa, in an area called Atteridgeville. It's in Pretoria.
It's an English
speaking school.
Okay.
Yes, but the locals will speak their local languages as well, because South Africa, I can say it's a
mixture of
it's a melt pot of the Bantu
languages,
population, which speaks up to 11 official languages. 11
in South Africa.
Yes,
11 languages.
But those are official languages used in administration and other forms of.
Means there are other languages that you can hear from people.
Dialects.
Speaking.
They could be dialects, because even what they call the Bushmen, they speak the Khoisans. They speak another clicking languages that is not an official language, but Xhosa. It has also clicking sounds, but it's more used in the public. Wherever you will be, there will be Xhosa speaking. Zulu, Spedi, Northern Sotho, Setswana. Setswana is for Botswana people. So Chivenda. And Ndebele, a lot of languages, and Afrikaans as well. Afrikaans is also spoken mostly by the white settlers in South Africa. Yes, the white South Africans. Yeah.
How was shortly life in school? A young Burundian girl in South Africa in that Roman Catholic Church school. How was life in school, and maybe in some neighborhoods?
We lived in things called apartments in the central business districts, because in Pretoria there will be a lot of buildings where people are just residential places.
They share houses in the same apartment.
So we lived in apartments, but we will I will commute to the school using a train every morning. So I'll go to the train station. That was my life I was admitted to grade 9. For 4 years I was using a train early in the morning, going to school.
And come
back. The school has we were not many foreigners. I can say seeing a Burundian girl and trying to integrate, speaking English only because I couldn't speak the local languages. But I made friends. because I have a bubbly personality, so I blend in easily.
You make friends easily.
Easily,
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
So I'm sociable, as I told you. So I talk. So whenever they will be asking, how is Burundi? Yes, they will be wanting to know.
Tell them everything in
Tell
something
them.
like 3 minutes. They can know about Burundi.
Yes, so during geography,
You would show
make
them.
sure I tell them this is Burundi. By the way, they always spoke about DRC, Congo.
Not Burundi.
Not
That's what I
Burundi.
want to know. Tell me, when people are in there, they cannot know anything about Burundi. They talk about
But
DRC.
the good thing, we were like two girls from other parts
Burundi.
of Africa.
Okay.
No, I was the
other
only
parts of
Burundian.
Africa.
Yes,
Oh.
and there was a Congolese.
Oh, okay.
We even became friends immediately because we were like speaking French and
Some
Swahili.
there was some
So
commonness
yeah, we
maybe
came from the same region.
same region.
Yeah, so
Speaking
immediately.
some Kiswahili.
Yes.
Okay.
So we bonded that way, and then we will explain the colonial past of our countries. That's why we speak French. So they got to know a lot, and now when they are learning geography, it's easy for them to, when they say Tanganyika,
Okay.
they will know, oh, Tanganyika, the Great Lakes region, Tanganyika all the way from Congo, Burundi, Tanzania, Zambia. Yes,
Okay.
that's how we'll explain to them, and then they were excited and they loved us.
They loved us?
I never, in my entire stay in South Africa for 18 good years, almost 20, because I went back shortly and I came back after a year. So 19 years, never experienced what is called xenophobia.
Xenophobia.
Never.
Oh.
So to me, they were even confused. Before I could talk, before you open your mouth, you look like them.
It's South African.
Yes. So
Sure.
they'll say, oh, I thought you were a Xhosa girl or a Tswana girl until you spoke.
So is there any language that you speak other than English? Maybe any language that you learned from South Africa other than
Yes.
English? Uh-huh.
Yeah, the
like
Bantu.
greetings.
Yeah, the Bantu languages have got similarities, and most of the words, it's like they stem from the word Mutu.
Muntu, yeah.
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
So immediately when they are talking, you can always pick up words which are like Swahili words, like inyoni is the same.
Really?
Is a bird. I would pick those words and I will try my best to keep listening. Yes, that's how I got to start saying few words. They wouldn't gossip about me because they knew I will hear everything.
Yeah, sure.
So, but talking became much difficult because I spent a few hours at school, come back in the city, in my community, because Burundians will try to live closer to each other.
Sure.
So I'll go back to speak Kirundi, go back to speak French. Yes, so I would find myself trying to capture the languages they are speaking and then learn the basics. When you get into a community, you learn their language by listening. So I listened a lot.
The basics.
Yes, so the greetings, Dumelang is hello in Setswana.
Oh.
Yes, it's used a lot in Pretoria. Even in the street, someone will
In the
say
neighborhoods.
Dumelang in the morning.
Dumelang in the
Dumelang.
morning. Oh,
And then in Zulu, Zulu, you must know, it's mostly spoken in KwaZulu-Natal, but Zulu descendant or people are everywhere in the country. So Zulu is another language which is mostly spoken. And they will greet you like Koto. It's like Amahoro. The way we greet
here in
Amahoro.
Burundi, Amahoro.
Yeah, Koto.
That's good.
And then they'll also say Sawubona.
That's like, it's like hello.
Yes, Sambonani. And then you will answer Sawubona. And then,
Sawubona.
yeah.
Okay.
And then he will ask Kunjani, how are you? You will answer Niapila. Communication in South Africa was never a problem for me.
For you.
So it helps me. Languages are things that help us to integrate because it's part of a culture. When you get into a country, their language is their culture. I got to visit Soweto, Soweto is
it's a historic place. By
yeah,
the way.
very historic. During youth month, which is June. So since I learned there, I had to absorb also most of the lifestyle, the history of the country, because when you are learning history in grade 10, they are not going to teach you
more about what the country
no more
wants
about
to
Burundi, no more. They're going to teach you because you are integrated. It means you have become a South African scholar. South Africa is a big country. They will tell you the Table Mountains in the Drakensberg. Yeah, the national ethos, which is a protea or the springbok. So you will know. I came to love South Africa so much that I felt like
it's a country with rich history.
It's a very rich, especially because even us being in Burundi, we used to learn more about apartheid, Mandela, as you said.
The pictures, because I said the land of Mandela.
So we used to learn more of the history of South Africa. So when I was there, it was the great opportunity to live, that history. So I think South Africa is a country that has welcomed a lot of foreign nationals, whether they are fleeing from wars in their country, they are seeking refugee status, whether they are economic migrants. I think South Africa is a melting pot of lots of people. They call it a rainbow nation, by the way.
Oh.
You know, a rainbow is made of so many colors.
So many colors.
Yeah, South Africa has got that about itself. It's a rainbow nation. It's a melting pot of all cultures from all over the world. It's more like America. When you get there, you can't help but you feel like you are a citizen. You are a citizen of the world, and now you are in a country where you will see a Chinese, an Indian who has been settlers there for more than 100 years, and then they are naturalized. The white, the people from all over, Malaysia, anywhere. I finished my high school, I wrote my matric, and then I got very good marks, especially in French and English. I learned it as a first language.
Not as a second?
No, as a first language.
Okay.
And French was my second language during the exam.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
But you start English as a first language.
First language. Okay. Yeah, I loved English literature so much. Shakespeare. Your Julius Caesar. Okay. And your Romeo and Juliet. We will go deep into those Shakespeare's books and my professor. My English professor, he liked me so much. He wouldn't even believe that I was born in a French-speaking country.
He couldn't imagine.
Yes, he couldn't imagine because
you were taking English as a first language.
I got 90-something% during
your matric
exam.
Oh,
so 90. I passed with flying colors, and then there was now an opportunity to apply for universities. And I applied for UNISA in 2008.
UNISA is a university?
University of South Africa. Okay. Yeah, UNISA, University of South Africa. Yeah, so it's a great university that allows distance learning because during that time, yes, I got a lot of disturbances. I had to travel to Nairobi. And then 2009 I was in Nairobi, but I could always go to a UNISA examination center and pass by my exams. So I took international relations and diplomacy. I was pushed because I saw myself as a citizen of the world. One thing that degree was gonna serve me was to be able to work in international organizations. And then also aspire to be a diplomat. And then as you go second year, you go deeper into communication, organizational communication, and then which is also journalism. And then there is also languages. We had either to choose most of foreign languages, which are international languages, either Spanish, either Mandarin, Chinese, either Arabic. So I chose Spanish. So I tried a bit to learn Spanish.
It means that you learn some Spanish.
Yes, I did. I did for quite some time, and then I couldn't get people to practice it with, so it died down. But writing my exam, I could pass with flying colors. Yeah, because I was thinking one day I'll find myself in a Spanish world.
Because Spanish is growing.
Speaking, yes.
Yeah.
So the Latin America, and then I'll be able to use that language. That was my thinking. So also there was a time I was studying German in Rosebank. Rosebank is more like in Johannesburg. You have to travel from Pretoria to Johannesburg. So I'll attend classes at Goethe Institute in Johannesburg to try to learn German. And the other reason why was like I wanted to apply to go and study at an international university called Göttingen in Göttingen. So you pass all your interviews in German for you to be even to be admitted. Considered, admitted to the university. So languages have always
part of you.
Yes, part of me, fascinated me. The more I speak, the better.
How did you come up with the idea back in 2018? The idea of coming back to Burundi. How did you think about that?
You are asking about deciding to come for good.
And you came, because you came back for good.
Yes, I did. I did. I now live here. I'm based here.
How did you come up with that idea of coming back to Burundi for good?
You find that it's a country that we love, we all love. Home is the best. Even my children, by the way, I told you I'm a mom, so I gave birth to 3 children in South Africa. Yes. So my children, when we were still living in South Africa, but exposing them to my nationality, where I come from, like my roots, was always something I hold dear to, because I was saying these children, they need to know Burundi, where I come from. Yeah, sure. Yes. Not only that, in the community where I lived, I was a leader. I was in charge of bringing Burundian kids together. It was my initiative, teaching them about Burundi. Okay. Yes. So some were born there, some came there when they are young and they are growing there in South Africa. Yes, they are going to identify themselves as South African, but not forgetting their roots and their parents' root. Sure. So it was my task to gather them every weekend. I would spare some time to teach them about cultural dance, cultural objects. So during the holidays, when I come to Burundi, I will make sure I take igiseke, like the basket, umukuza, the one that you drink your calabash. I'll gather those traditional objects
and travel with them.
Travel with them back to Burundi, back to South Africa from Burundi. So it was an opportunity to show them. To show them. I will just put them there.
This is igisabo.
This is igisabo, umukuza, igiseke, indingiti, inanga. Yes, ingoma. Of course, I wouldn't take the big one. I will take the small one, the miniature one. So I will just lay those objects there and say, this is used for this. The national flag, I will explain the colors, the history, I'll tell them about the geography. Yes, sure. And then during the time we spend together with the children growing up in Pretoria, the community children, we will speak Kirundi. So I will try to tell the parents, please,
teach them some Kirundi.
Teach them Kirundi. Yeah. Because especially in the home, you find that parents in the diaspora, they have few hours to speak to their kids. I was tasked, not because someone is sending me to do it, but because it comes from me. I was thinking, I came from Burundi as a high schooler, as a teenager. These kids, they don't know about Burundi. So let me give them that picture of what Burundi is, so that they are growing in South Africa. They might, all their lives might be spent in South Africa, but
knowing that
they will have a picture of what Burundi is and where their parents come from. So I was passionate about it, and when you ask in Pretoria today at the embassy of Burundi in Pretoria, because that's where our embassy is, every ambassador who has passed there, they will know Dalila for that, because during the Independence Day celebration, any other Burundian memorable day, we will celebrate by having the Burundian dances. So whenever the Burundian embassy will be called to represent Burundi in exhibition art,
you had to be there.
Yeah, they will say, Dalila,
has to be here.
Yeah, come and show Burundi in a because there will be stands. Sure. Yeah, so I got to
showing the drums.
Yeah, that at least the children will remember me by their parents as well.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm still in contact with the kids. After 10 years, they have grown. So they said, you made me love Burundi. Some are in USA today, but that's one thing that they say, you made me love Burundi. You made me know about Burundi. So I hold dear the photos we took together. All those are memorable moments that I will never forget.